guys, welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm E.
I'm D.
And today we'll be talking about our favorite gossip girl and her husband, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Aren't they the cutest?
Love her.
So, we stumbled upon an article that we kind of just wanted to briefly touch on. And it's basically Ryan Reynolds says that he and Blake Lively stress the importance of self awareness to their kids. You know, if you've seen already our other video about Kylie, you know, influencing and having surgeries and this and that. I think, this is kind of somewhat related to some of our comments. So we just wanted to touch on it.
Yeah. Okay, so according to People, this is an article we found. Ryan Reynolds is getting candid about parenting and his children's mental health. Quote: "I think it's more important. It's more about talking to them about everything." The actor tells People at the Bring the Change to Mind Revels and Revelations 11 event in New York City. "It's genuine when I say I take a huge interest in their days and how things are going." Ryan also opened up to People about how he and his wife, Blake Lively, stress the importance of self awareness to their 4 kids, as well as sharing details of their daily routines. "For me, the best time of my day is waking or walking them to school and walking them back," he says to People. "I think as parents, we are so much better equipped to handle the rigors of childhood through our kids now than we did when we were kids. It's just totally different now. People are much more self-aware. And that's the thing we sort of hang our hat on the most is self-awareness with our kids. Not to be happy, not to be anything, just be self-aware um, and welcome everything in." Ryan Reynolds and actress Blake Lively share 3 daughters: James 8, Ness 7, and Betty 4. They welcomed their 4th baby in February of 2023. The Deadpool star was honored with the Robin Williams Legacy of Laughter Award at the event. Actress Glenn Close and her family established the organization Bring Change to Mind in 2009 to fight the stigma of mental illness. Soon after welcoming his 4th child, Reynolds opened up about how he and Lively were settling into life as a family of 6. "We're very excited," the Welcome to Wrexham star told CNBC's Power Lunch. "Look, we wouldn't do this 4 times if we didn't love it. Everybody's doing great. Everybody's actually doing fantastic," he continued. "I think if we hadn't figured it out by now, I think we'd be in deep, deep trouble." Reynolds went on to joke that the couple's house resembles a zoo during his virtual appearance, adding, "It's a zoo over here. This is my office here. And to be honest, I'll probably spend the rest of my life in here." He is pretty funny. I love all of his stuff, really. But
So,
yeah.
just really quick, looking up the definition to self awareness, and it's a conscious knowledge of one's characters, feelings, motives, and desires.
Okay.
Popular words for self awareness include self reflection, introspection, self knowledge, and self examination, as well as mindfulness, self consciousness, and self understanding. So,
Oh,
if you guys have watched our other video about Kylie and whether she's had surgery and things like that, we did mention, if you want to do those things, you can, as long as it's for you.
yeah.
So, I think uh, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively talking to kids, to their kids about self awareness. I think a lot more parents and aunts and uncles and teachers, we all need to teach this to the younger generation about, self love and really knowing yourself and all these things. I think it's important before being influenced by society and whatever's on trend or whatever's on social media.
Yeah.
You gotta live with whatever you do,
Yeah.
basically.
I think that's a good point. I mean, in order to combat the, rampant influencing culture that we now live in, maybe having that sort of, self-awareness and discussing it with your children, teaching it early on, it could be very beneficial. Because, I think a lot of the time, and I think it was even the case like for us growing up, like you're in school, you're there every single day, Monday through Friday, you've got kids around you and everybody's got, all these different like feelings, and a lot of the time you don't know like how to handle certain feelings.
Yeah.
Um and and so being self-aware, being able to just kind of say to yourself, I'm not too happy today, but that's okay. That's a big thing versus, I'm not happy today. It's going to ruin my entire day. Like I think that's something that takes a while to like learn, and growing up, like I don't think that was something that for me personally I was able to do. I think that I struggled, with a lot of that because feelings weren't exactly like discussed, and it wasn't until later in life as an adult that I kind of was able to really embrace certain feelings and understand, just like these things are okay, these things are temporary, um and for kids, I mean, especially like kids, they I think have so much energy, so many feelings, they have like, a lot going on in their world, even though it's just a little bubble. For them it's like huge, right? So any little thing can be like the biggest problem in the world. And it sucks that like, in today's world that we live in, kids have to deal with like school shooter drills. They have to deal with, even more bullying, not just in school, but cyberbullying online, because kids are getting online a lot younger now. They have cell phones, they have iPads, tablets, all these things that I never had, it didn't really exist back then. So if it was difficult for me to understand my feelings, to be self-aware back then, I can't imagine how it would be
Mhm.
for kids now, dealing with all the stuff they deal with.
For sure. And I think it's also important. I know this is like kid related and probably preteen. Kylie's age 26, even though we're 27, but I think it's also important that adults practice self awareness.
Yeah.
Why, is your life going in a particular way, good or bad?
Yeah.
Or, how are my decisions affecting me and my family, or other people?
Yeah.
Sometimes we can have, great days where we make a change in the world, and sometimes we could be very
Yeah.
self-destructive or
Oh, yeah.
destroy everything in sight. So, you know, and a lot of experiences, change you, of course. So I think
Yeah.
it's so nice for people to practice this every day or throughout their lives and just really assess, hey, how did I contribute to this? Or how did I learn from this experience? You know,
Yeah.
to improve your life, of course. So I think they're doing a good job, you know,
Yeah,
being
definitely.
aware, and that also helps because if they're aware of what their kids are going through, it could prevent so many things, and you can just whatever nip something in the bud if there's
Yeah.
something going awry.
And also, like, let's take into consideration the fact that these are kids of celebrities. Like, it's a whole nother world of, craziness that goes on for celebs and their offspring. And so it's gotta be, a
Yeah.
difficult space to be in sometimes. And like we've heard of like stories of child actors and, things that end up happening to them as they get older.
Hmm.
Um and not having the right sort of like people around you and everything. So trying to give them as much of a normal life, I think, is really great, and trying to instill those sort of values in them um can be very beneficial. And I think that really, obviously it can apply to everybody. But I feel like, given with their like status, like celebrity status, like it's probably very, very important to kind of be at, at a better place as far as like being self-aware, because look, otherwise you'll have a situation like Kylie Jenner, the video that you mentioned earlier, where, she had an insecurity and it turned into some other stuff. And now she regrets some of those things because she sees her daughter, and it seems like she's trying to teach her daughter self-awareness as well, even though she didn't mention that in the article. It seems like that's what she's trying to do. But yeah, it's a pretty important thing, I think, to kind of like pass on to your kids.
And to practice it every day.
And to practice. Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, that concludes today's episode. It was a shorty but a goodie. Let us know what you think in the comments about, I guess maybe this parenting style or this idea of self awareness. Do you practice self awareness every day?
Yeah.
Do you teach your kids, your nieces, nephews, these things? Your students, if you're teachers, professors, let us know in the comments. We would
Yeah.
love to interact with you guys.
Yeah.
But if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends can be our
Yeah.
friends and we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steve will tell you about.
We're on Instagram and TikTok at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share the content. We greatly appreciate all involvement.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.